Welcome to your daily dose. I'm setting the time for our timer right now to make sure that we stick to our 5 minute deal. My name is Robert. It's my pal Susan. And here on the daily dose, we don't often know what we're talking about on purpose. We have a little lead in right now, and I'll set it up to say that today in the day one program for the Parkinson's prison and the hero's journey to escape, we're dealing with the stage of the journey, crossing the threshold. And there's a lot to it at this point where people on the journey are asked to leave their ordinary world and step into the special world. What kinds of things come up for you when you think about being asked to leave your ordinary world and step into the special world? What comes up for you?
Insecurity,
Yeah.
uh, excitement for the I know something's coming, and it's exciting, even if it might potentially be scary. Um, Grateful that I have a teacher and a Sherpa and a bunch of classmates that I can be with. And actually, for me, the fact that writing will be the end result of each stage is it's a it's a very clarifying opportunity, so I can sort of see a big, good long-term result without knowing what all the pieces are in the middle, but that they might hurt.
Yeah, and in fact, I'd go beyond saying it might hurt to say it's going to hurt. I mean, I think if we're doing our job, it's going to hurt. This is where we talk about the stakes of the story and the crossing of the threshold. Um, it means going somewhere new. It means facing the unknown. And the encouragement from, me, the Sherpa, in a sense, is that people allow themselves to see themselves differently, right? We all have our personalities, our identities, and those can be prisons unto themselves, right? Even if we generally like ourselves, does that mean that there's not more of ourselves? Does that not mean that there's not, something else that we could discover, transform, metamorphosize into?
But we might be so self-limited that we don't even know that this,
Correct.
that this might be there, which is why it's so helpful to have this guidance from our Sherpa and have this set out for us. And you do some risky things. We have with the Shawshank Redemption, there's a lot of heavy stuff that's filmed, and you've taken some pretty heavy clips.
Yeah, well, who'd
That's
want to
learning
go?
opportunities. And
Sure, because, well, I mean, specifically in today's scene, I mean, who would want to go and spend time dealing with Andy being raped? It's a very unpleasant, horrible thing to happen. And the stakes are set so well by Morgan Freeman, to say, he probably would have died if he stayed there. And that's the point of the hero's journey, right? If you're staying where you're stuck, you're going to die. You're going to die. And that's the call, is to say you have to move into this space. I know it's scary, I know it's unknown, and
unknown.
yet you're going to be able to handle it. And I don't even know how. That's not the call. The call is go anyway, right?
And with Parkinson's, if that's the model you're working in, you're there. You don't have a choice. It's not, Andy didn't choose to go to prison, even if it didn't make any sense. I didn't choose to get Parkinson's, even though it didn't make any sense. And
Right.
yet, we deal with it.
Well, and just like, Andy, yeah, he didn't not only not choose to go to prison, he didn't choose to get, attacked by these rapists. And yet that was the reality. You didn't choose to have Parkinson's give you XYZ symptom this day, but that's the reality. Now, again, the question comes back to you in the Parkinson's world: what are you going to do about it?
Mhm.
And you, this is kind of the crack open in that regard, is to say, what if you made a wish? What if you not only made a wish and hoped something else would do it for you, but you made a wish and then listened for the answer that said, okay, here's what that wish is going to entail: you doing something different, you doing something that maybe scares you, and becoming something more than what you imagined. the audacity of the wish is huge, isn't it?
It's an awesome um, counter, or balancing, maybe is a better way to think of it, to suggesting that we make a wish. And I will often say, if I had a magic wand, I could just wave a magic wand. But the real thing is not that in part of the sentence, it's the end of the sentence. What will I do? What does it take to make that come true? Or some version of that come true?
Hold that. We're going to go forward with this because this is good. 5 minutes about what does it make to the listening part of the wish, not just the asking. It's what happens next on your next daily dose.